Hello and welcome back to another Niklaus Gaming video. In today's video, we are going back to an older video that I created, and I'm going to go ahead and update it. So obviously the game has gone through a bunch of new updates, new stuff, new additions. So I thought it'd be a really good idea to just revise and kind of update the beginner's guide that I had out in, I think it was day 30 or day 35 I did that beginner guide, which probably wasn't the best idea. But now that I am very far into our server, obviously, let me take a look here and look at the characters. We are obviously in 2242. Oh my gosh, I have to log into that first. But I know there's servers I don't want to say 3,000, but who knows? So obviously, I am at 284.5 million power. We are in server 2242, and we have some very massive players in the game. So the first thing I want to say is, if you have any different tips, tricks, or guides for any type of player that I'm going to talk about in this video, please leave a comment down below. We can all learn from each other. Even if you don't agree with something I say, tweak it. Tweak what you think is better than what I said. Because obviously, I'm going to kind of bounce around between a lot of different stuff from what I know and just my knowledge in itself. So let's go ahead and get started with this beginner guide. I am going to try to talk about a single topic from a free to play, a low spend, medium spend, and of course as high spend as we can go. So first things first, obviously with a brand new account, there is a lot to do. You're going to pretty much load into this game. And actually, let me try to go ahead and click into a character that I don't believe I've worked very much. So this one. So let's just go ahead and click into here. There are going to be a massive amount of pop-ups just like this. And obviously, depending on your level of spend, the pop-ups are very, very, very good in the early game. One thing you'll kind of learn is what the percentages really kind of add up to. And if we take a look at some of the other deals on here, which I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do. So 3,200, we have custom pet chest, which is best deals. We have 2,000%. We have 3,500%. We have almost 3,800%. Obviously, the ultras are amazing. 2,600%, 2,200%, etc., etc. So ignore all this stuff on the bottom here right now. You guys aren't going to get that for a while, I'm assuming. So obviously, let's talk about the beginning. So there's going to be a lot to do, just like I said. And one of the biggest things that you want to do is dominate for power. And one of the best ways to do that, even as a free-to-play player, is to get into a top alliance. So one of the things that I highly recommend is that you kind of join in with a group of people who are all a variety of spending levels, right? So obviously with my main account, I'm almost VIP 12. That is quite a ridiculous amount of money to pour into a game, but this is just one thing I really like doing. And I also just like creating videos on the side. Obviously I have a day job, which helps me with all this and all the general bills. So keep in mind your level of spend. Make sure that you're able to do and spend what you do end up spending in the game, because it can rack up very quickly. So obviously you're going to have the hero hall along with a bunch of buildings down here. So let me go ahead and switch back into my account so we can kind of talk more about the beginning and some of the guidelines here. And if you haven't been able to tell already, this is going to be a very long video, but very informative. So in the center here, you're going to have the furnace along with the sawmill, clinic, this 8 shelters, cookhouse, the iron mine, the hunter's hut, and the coal mine. So all these buildings are prerequisites to being able to upgrade your furnace up to furnace level 30. I said that correctly. There are 30 levels for your furnace in this game, along with an additional 10, but we're going to get there eventually. Obviously, you're going to want to build as fast as you can. You're going to have the hero hall here to recruit your heroes. I recommend using your keys and getting all those heroes unlocked, because the further that you can push it eventually, in what is called the Explorer's Cabin, which we will chat about that later. Obviously, once you get into the later game, you're going to want to save up your keys, because there are bigger events, which we will talk about as well, that allow you to use these keys for points. So You are also going to have the enlistment office, the command center, the embassy, the storehouse, eventually the beast cage, the research center, infirmary, lighthouse, the 3 camps for your troops, and then the barricade. The war academy comes very much later. And if you are curious about the timeline for your server, go ahead and go into the official Whiteout Survival Discord, and you can get the timeline there, I think, through like /timeline, something along those lines. It's a command. So how do you get all these buildings up to level 30? First of all, you need a ridiculous amount of speeds, and you need a ridiculous amount of speed ups. So one of the first things that I highly recommend doing is doing your growth. That's it. Do your growth. If you are a free-to-play player, a whale, a medium spender, I do not care. Get your growth up. You're going to save a massive amount of speeds down the line. So if we take a look here, tooling up is going to be your construction speed. Obviously 1.3% for this first level being max is not very much, but it will add up over time. If we take a look here, look at the amount of speeds that I have. I'm not maxed, by the way. I'm getting there. So I have 21% on construction, and I have almost 28% on research speed. I have 170% on training and 251% on healing. If we take a look, my gathering speed is a ridiculous amount. I know I still got some work on there. And then these are the battle stats, which we'll get to later. So obviously, if you keep going down, your command tactics is going to give you your March Q. Tool enhancement is going to be your research speed. Trainer tools is going to be your training speed. Obviously, the ward expansion is very important as well, especially early game where alliances are going to be battling each other for dominance. So, of course, and then bandaging too. You need all this stuff. You need all of this stuff. And all and all and all. So at the same time, while that is very, very, very important for free-to-play, you also really need to work your economy tab. Obviously, there's a couple little things I can do in here, but do I really want to spend 4 hours or 4 days and 15 hours doing coal mining right now when I never mine for coal? No, that's just not what I want to do. So if you are a medium spender, you can go ahead and take on the growth and the economy portion both at the same time. It is relatively easy, relatively cheap. The only problem that you're going to have is what this is here. This is steel. Steel is a special item that you can get from the explorer's cabin over here, which at a certain point you can claim. Obviously, I think I can get about 30,000 steel for free every 8 hours. So if I take a look here, every 10 minutes you can claim a little bit. I'm not going to collect the leaderboard. I don't really care about this right now. I think I'm pretty much maxed out until I can really push some, which if you're going to play this game, do not quit, take a leave, do anything. Try to keep your account running as much as you can. So, anyway, so that kind of covers the research center. If you're a whale, obviously, push into this as hard as you can. There's going to be a steel pack. The steel pack is not very good to buy from here, but if you're a whale, you have to do it. You have to assert dominance. As long as you can maintain everything else that we're going to go ahead and talk about in this game, if I can ever find it. If I found it, just... oh, there it is. So right now we can get 40,000 for $5. I think in the beginning it is around 20,000 for this. And yeah. Okay. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the embassy and the command center here. So the embassy is reinforcement. Command center is rally. So if we go ahead and take a look at the details here, I can have 965,000 rally capacity. I'm at Fire Crystal. That is the level beyond level 30. Which we will get to eventually because that is another massive portion. I can do troops deployment capacity and then obviously the power there. And then if we take a look at the embassy, we have ally assist, which also help specifically free-to-play players when they first join the game. And then you also have the ally help time and the reinforcement capacity. So these are also... Okay, so if you kind of notice a little cut here, I just had someone ring my doorbell. It is 9:03 where I am, and obviously I record in my basement, and my window is right behind me, and people can probably hear me, so it was just Amazon. So, okay. So obviously, the command center and the embassy are two major things. Obviously, there's going to be prerequisites to upgrade each and every building to the next specified level. But getting your embassy in the beginning is a very, very big deal, and it's going to help you tremendously depending on who you are. So next is the storehouse. The storehouse is going to give you a certain amount of protection. Obviously, this is at level 30. You get 120 million meat, wood, 24 million coal, and 6 million iron, which is amazing, especially if you get attacked. Then you're able to hold that. Obviously, we went over the research center, where, remember, free to play, growth, economy, kind of do them at the same time. Medium spend, push growth, and do a decent amount on economy as well, because you're obviously going to get resources from packages. And then whales, bust it all out. It takes a very long time. To give an example, this is the final one in here. This is 6 days on level 1. This is 6 days on level 1. This is 11 days on level 1, almost 12. So, obviously, this is the infirmary. We are at Fire Crystal, so a little bit past level 30. You have the infirmary capacity of 94,000. And one thing I will say is do not be worried about destroying your troops in this game. I have gone through a ridiculous amount of troops in this game. Let me see. I have 2 million troops right now. I have 3.8 million losses in this game. You can recover 90%, depending. Up to 90% is ridiculous in any game. So if I take a look here, this is what's called the enlistment office. So troops, obviously here, 781,000 I can have in here. These are the dead units or killed units in any battle, right? And I can gain 14,500 loyalty per hour as long as I do my daily, stay active, etc., etc. Once that loyalty gets full, you can take out every single one of those troops back, which is crazy to say. Because obviously there's events like SVS, which is state versus state, which is an event down the line where your state battles up against another state, which is something to look forward to because it is one of the most fun events there are in this game. And you can invade the other state and burn player cities. Then you can fight for the castle in the middle, and then afterwards you can have a burn party again. So, enlistment office, infirmary. I mean, every single building in this game is important. The barricade, I don't really know much about. Auto garrison. Okay, yeah, sure. Sure. Auto garrison, whatever. So pretty much that's just kind of your defending heroes, what's going to defend your city while you're being attacked. That is from my understanding. I don't think it really offers anything else. And durability. So if you go down to a 0 durability, from my understanding, you are teleported into a safe zone or all the way back into like the first level. Next, you're going to have the infantry camp, your lancer camp, and your marksman camp. So there's a lot of debate about this, but this is what is very important in the beginning. You're going to need a lot more infantry than you're going to need lancer and marksman. Now, as always, there's an exception to everything, unfortunately. So infantry are going to be the biggest troop that you are going to eliminate out when you're fighting. They are, think of them as Spartans. And they are going to defend to their last breath. You're going to run out of these, which is why I have 800,000 of them. And I'm going to continue pushing these. But you also see that my lancers are low and my marksmen are even more than my infantry. I'm at a point to where I can play bear almost the entire time, which is absolutely incredible and amazing, but also very expensive because resources, speed ups, etc. So marksmen are also very important for the bear, which give you essence stones, which we will talk about in the hero portion in a little bit. Next are the lancers. I typically don't really speed them up. I did speed them up in the beginning because I pushed for tier 10. As there are 10 tiers inside of this game, where you go from tier 1 to tier 10, and then once you get to a certain point, you also get tier 11, which are incredibly strong and powerful. But like I said, that is way later down the line, and if I need to create a guide for that, I will. So, infantry is most important. Marksmen are also very important. Lancers, you want to have enough in order to defend and not be worried if you happen to lose a couple 100,000 of them. But free to play, slow roll it, you're fine. Work with your team, communicate, you got this. Next is one of the most important things, and I'm not going to be able to stress this enough, is your lighthouse. There are 20 levels to the lighthouse, which give you different level of quality. And I can have 8 max refreshes here. And if we take a look, so every single, I think it's like 8 hours, the lighthouse refreshes for you. And you get new tasks, which give you different rewards, which help you work your chief gear, your chief charms, you have essence stones, and you have all of this goodies for free. Do these every 8 hours as much as you can. I don't care if you do it 3 out of the 4 times, but if you can manage 4 out of the 4 every single time, that is your best case scenario. Next, we're going to ignore the Crystal Laboratory, just like I'm ignoring this War Academy, because that is not a beginner's guide. Next is the Monument. Obviously, these are just some free rewards that you're able to get as soon as the server opens and your alliance progresses, where obviously Furnace level 7, 1500 chiefs in the state reach Furnace level 7. You have 10,000 beasts killed. You have 300 or 10 polar rallies of level 1 or higher, etc., etc., all the way down to the road to recovery, where you are the first 20 chiefs in the state to reach level 30. And if we take a look, I was the first one to reach level 30. And how many out of these level 30 are still playing this game here today? They have quit. Colton has quit. Dude has quit. So we have still a decent amount, and that is where you get the fire crystals here, which as soon as this one happens, then you start slowly getting introduced into fire crystals. Next is the arena. I cannot stress this enough. This is one of the most important things in the game to do. In the beginning, you want to go ahead and get your custom mythic hero gear chests. That is going to allow you to get a free piece of legend or mythic hero gear. And we will go ahead and talk about all this stuff here pretty quick. The next important thing I would say is the essence stones. Once they unlock, you want the mithril as well. So get your 5 attacks in. If you are a medium or a high level spender, you can get more challenge refreshes, which I can buy 5 for 2100 gems, which is 10,700, or sorry, 14,700 gems a week, which is quite a lot. About 15 to 20 bucks a week just on arena. So do that, but you can get more prizes and everything else in that nature. Next is going to be the dock. This is going to take you to your island, which turns out is also very ridiculously important. And so as you can tell, I was claiming the green essence stones, which you want to get your tree of life to level 10 as fast as you can. That gives you special stats here as well. I know mine are down a little bit compared to most. Obviously, with me missing as much stuff as I did miss quite a bit of just general attack and defense stuff. One little thing I will say is that anytime that there's an event around, here, take this one for instance. This is the Enchanted Garden. This gives me 3% troop defense. It is also very expensive. It is like $700 to max this stupid thing. Maybe $385. I can't remember exactly how many packs there are of the $100 tier, but I'm not going to spend that on that. We get events in this game. Those events are a lot of fun, but they require a lot of money to participate and do good. There are some ways to do free to play, and I wish that there was, but if you take a look at any of the other videos that myself or any other content creators have created in this game, you will see how amazing that every single one of these events are. But if you are able to spend at least the $10 to get that, then you can upgrade them, and you can also get some of these general decoration components, convert those into what you need, and you can level them up through there. You can also find them in here for 6,000. Obviously, it's quite expensive to elevate them as much as you can, but compared to some of these other buildings, it ain't that bad. All right. Let's continue on. I believe that is that portion there. Suggestion box. Try to keep it as high as you can. Obviously, you get a gold key every day. A couple 100,000 resources, and 100 gems. Not much, but everything adds up. I believe that is everything that we can talk about on this page. Next is the Chiefs building, the Chiefs order. I got yelled at so much in the beginning not using these. Biggest thing, double time. 20% off on building time for 5 minutes. When we talk about certain events, which like is the Hall of Chiefs in the beginning. Sorry, I need something. I've been talking for like 35 minutes at this point. In the beginning, when you're doing Hall of Chiefs, gaining points, pushing as fast as you can, push this button. You got 5 minutes of 20% off. It's going to make a big difference. I could have had a lot more speeds in my inventory if I clicked this stupid button. But I didn't. Okay. Now let's go ahead and have some fun. VIP. Obviously, when you first start off, you are at VIP 0. In order to get to VIP 1, you see the benefits on the screen. Down here, we have a timer going down. You're probably wondering, Nick, what is that timer? You have to buy in order to activate your VIP in this game. 10,000 gems for 30 days. Someone who has 350,000 gems in their inventory and another 25,000 in my inventory constantly. That's not that big of a deal. Someone who's free to play, it's kind of a big deal. So, try to keep a couple gems for this. You got 30 days to get 10,000 gems. From my experience, it's not super hard. There's a lot of events that you can and will be able to get gems on. It just depends on what's important to you. We have free to plays who can max the wheel every single time it comes out. That's like 225,000 gems, somewhere on that. And they do it every time. And it's incredible. Next is, well, actually, I will slowly go ahead and go through these VIP benefits here. So that's level 1. This is level 2, level 3, level 4, construction speed. Level 5, you get an additional squad. Very, very, very important. Level 6 is your March queue, which is also very important. Next, 7, you got 8, which is another squad. You got level 9, which adds some troop defense. Level 10 adds troop attack, and you also get faster avatar upload. VIP 11, you get 14% troop health. And then on VIP 12, which is the main goal for as many accounts to get to as possible, depends on your spend level. Obviously, players are going to be able to get this a lot faster than others, is the 16% troop lethality. But let me put you down here where we are able to get 6 Mythic General Hero Shards every single day for free. Not for free because you spent an arm and a leg on this game, but for free. Okay. Whew. Talked about a lot. We got a lot going there. Let's go ahead and dive into the packs. So when you first start off the game, obviously you're going to be able to get Zinman, which is a hero. And you're going to be able to get Molly. Then you're going to have the $5 packs pop up with some universal legendary hero shards. Buy those. Low spend. Not free to play. Obviously, you're free to play. Whales, everyone. Buy them. You're going to need them. Next, we're going to go ahead and go all the way over here. So, Molly's Blessing is going to be here. Don't buy this. Ignore this. Do not go for this. You don't need it. You're going to get Molly for free eventually. Might just take a while. Is Molly needed for a whale? Yeah. Are you going to do what I do and spend? If you're a whale? Probably. This was 5. I spent $285 on Molly. And I replaced her in Gen 2. Which happens pretty fast. So if you want to, go ahead. But just know what you're getting yourself into. Next is going to be the Chief Gear Tool Pack, the Gear Enhancement. Both of these are pretty darn important, but there are going to be better packs. Obviously, this is 640%. Not worth it. Charm Craftsman and Charm Design, 800%, 1260. Not worth it. If you're a whale, mega whale, wanting dominance, buy them. Buy them. I'm not. I'm going to save it for more fun events. Then we're going to go ahead and take a look at this Mastery Forging. These are Essence Stones. These are going to help you level up your gear into a legendary status. I'm not buying this. I'm buying them on events. Have fun. Gear Empowerment, which is going to be for Mithril. A lot of players buy this quite often because it's very rare coming around in events. Whales, sure. Medium spend, here or there. Maybe once in a blue moon. I mean, it's not the worst percent in the world. It's not great. Not bad. All these come later in the game. All of these come later in the game. Later in the game. Mastery Badge Pack. Yeah, not bad. Buy probably up to the $20 bundle. Not a horrible thing in the world. And then Hero XP, do not buy this. City Construction Pack, if you need it. Hero Gear Pack, nah. Troops Training, no. Tech, no. Skill Manual, hell no. Steel Pack, you're probably going to need to buy it. Transfer Pass, yeah, if you need to leave. City Lifeline, if you need some resources. Not a horrible percentage here on these guys. Get gems? Never. Daily deals, Ultra Value Monthly Card is a must. Look at that percentage. At weekly, you'll need it. Here, you'll need it. Speed up weekly card, you'll need it. Before you say, Nick, why don't you have any of these? Just because I've been busy. I have forgotten. I forget to buy Frost Stars. Daily deals, a lot of people buy them. I don't really care. I don't really care about them. Like I said, I don't care. I didn't level Philly. I didn't level Greg. I didn't level Logan. And I'm not doing else. I don't care. Ice Conqueror Pack. If you're a whale, buy this. You're going to need as many advanced teleporters as you can. Enhanced gear. Every player who can afford this, I don't want to say should go for this, but the whales should. Medium spend, go for it. Get a couple, but as long as it's on a hero that you're going to need to use. Cheap stamina. It's kind of explanatory. Very rare to get. Go for it. These customs and all this other stuff. Mega whales love these packs. I kind of don't. Dawn Market is good because it has gems. This one I don't particularly like because it does not have gems in it, where it kind of depends on what you're looking for. I need as many gems as I can because I want to push the VIP 12 before next XVS, which is my goal. We have talked about a lot. Let's do something a little bit easier. Down here, you have your exploration, which takes you back to the exploration page. You have your heroes, which is going to pop up all of your heroes labeled by generation, starting with generation 4. Next, you're going to have your backpack, which has resources, speeds, bonus, gear, and other. We can talk about that in just 1 second. This is the shop with the nomadic merchant. It is recommended to buy everything in here that costs resources, because then you can take resources and put them back in your bag. They are safe in your bag. This is the mastery badge that we talked about. You get discounted items here for cheaper. This is the arena shop that we already looked at. This is the VIP shop that we looked at. This is called the Alliance shop. Oh, it has the son of a bitch. Where some of the best things to get are polishing solutions, hardened alloy, and design plans. That's what I'm going for. Eventually, your eyes will switch. That is just my ideal. And then we have the Foundry shop. We have the State of Power shop, which is SVS. You have the Skin shop, which save until you get the city skin, then go for the other stuff. You have the Canyon, the Labyrinth, which will come eventually. Let me just go and buy that Mithril real quick, and then the Gem. I recommend not buying anything in this shop unless it's common wild marks after you hit VIP 12. Or you're a massive spender, and you can spend. VIP is one of the best ways, if not the top way, to put your gems into. Just saying. Believe me, don't believe me. It's fine. So, before we get into the heroes, which is probably one of the last things that we're going to talk about, is the backpack. So, the resources tab, you can look here. So, you can see that I have 7.5 billion food, 6.5 billion wood, 500 million coal, 330 million iron, 1.1 million steel, 7,700 chief stamina, 3.71 million hero XP, and 7,000 of the pet food. You can also look at speed ups, which I don't have much. I'm just waiting for an event. You can also see that gems store pretty good in this game. I used all of them about a week and a half ago, and I already have, let's see, 20,000, 32, let's call it 33,000 gems in here. Not bad. Yeah, this is also where your fire crystal and your fire crystal shards will sit. Also where you will get all of your custom resource chests here. And then that is everything. Obviously, the speed ups tab is pretty easy to take a look at. Bonuses are where all of your additional stats are going to come from. I will go ahead and go over those in a little bit. Gear is going to be the gear tab. The other is where all of your boxes are going to be. If you're someone who cannot stand the red dot, which talk to your alliance mates, will figure out what that red dot is. Do not open anything from this tab. You're going to use them. You're going to want to use them. I want to use them. I'm very bad at saving sometimes, and I get yelled at a lot. Anyway, moving on. So a tab before we get through some of the stuff. This is just your city, stuff that you can do and claim. These are your march queues, so you don't have to go out of your city and take a look. This down here is your daily missions along with growth missions. Do these as much as you can. This is a requirement to make every single thing. You are able to get some fire crystals, badges, gold keys, and then also some of these here will give you gems, which is very, very good to get. 175 gems there. I don't know if there's another one. There should have been, I swear. I mean, I just do this so fast, it doesn't take very much. And then, let's see. I mean, there's always going to be pop-up packs like this. Typically, they're better value than anything. Just know what you're spending for. Know what you need. Find something to work on. We'll talk about that last. Let's go ahead and venture into the heroes and gear. So, obviously, Geronimo is a paid hero to get. So is Natalia. If you're okay with it, go for Molly. She's totally fine. But let's take a look at everything in a whole. So the blue heroes are all here, and they are going to be the only heroes that are going to work on your, gathering. So these are some very good heroes to work. You want to push them as hard as you can. Next, you're going to have your purple heroes, which will work very good for bear. So obviously, you have stuff like Gina, Theo. You have Jesse, just as another example. You want this skill to be maxed, because this is the skill that counts for rallies. God, there's so much in this game. But it's so much fun, I promise. And obviously, learn a little bit more about it all through your alliance mates, but you have to be, I believe, 4 stars in order to unlock or max that skill out. Maybe it's 3 full here, which is over 1,000 of each of these shards in order to elevate. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I think it's 1,060-ish total to max this completely. They start off differently, like one at a time. Just take a look at it, go slow, plan. You get a new hero about approximately every 80 or so days. They come out with 3 heroes at a time. You have 1 infantry, 1 marksman, and then 1 lancer. So there are a ton of guides everywhere. People's videos just floating around the internet, on Reddit, on the Discord, of who are the best heroes to go for if you're a free-to-play mid spender or a total tank whale. Do not get discouraged. Even if you're free to play, you can plan accordingly, and you can still be very, very, very competitive in this game. Down here are these skills. So this is another massive thing, where obviously we are in Gen 4 and we are still using Geronimo, where his stats are very crazy. And if you go ahead and go into the gear here, this is their special widget, which is what it's called. I think it's like 275-ish, somewhere around there, in order to get this from level 1 to level 10. But it also adds 62.5% stats. This is Season 1. Season 4, to give you an example, is 92.5% stats, which is also very, very, very incredible. Whew. Okay. Next is the gear. So this is one of the biggest things that I say. I want to get a full set on 1 infantry, 1 marksman, and 1 lancer. Just work 1 set at a time. So on Geronimo, you have this one here, which is his infantry health and infantry health. Work these 2 pieces up to level 100 first, then you can slowly work these 2 here. Then the same thing is for marksman and lancer, where you want to work the lethality pieces first before you work the inside, which is the health. It's just how the stats work in this game. Those are the best things that you can do. So next you can probably see I have a forging here and I have ascending. The mastery forging takes it from level 1 all the way up to level 20. You need to be up to level 10 in order to... Where is Geronimo? Level 10, which turns it into that legendary status, which is that red. And then I can go all the way up to level 20, which gives us additional stat percentage. And it also allows me to empower it, which gives you all of these stats here. So it is a big ask, but as long as you play it smart, it's really hard for free to play to do it, which is why you want your whales and your krakens too. Getting in the rallies is going to be a massive thing, because you can see just what empowering to the first level does to every single piece of my stats. Every single piece. And then another thing that you kind of learn to do just generally is taking these and enhancing it, because it's totally okay. Because I can take this piece and reforge it and mastery reforge. So I can take these back. I get 50% of the essence stones. This is not recommended, which is why you only want to work those 2 pieces on each of those heroes, depending on your spend level. And then on the enhancement reforge, I can get every single piece of level back, only on ones that you have not ascended. I think that is everything important about that. Let's go out into the main world. Obviously, you're going to have all these buttons here. There's going to be a lot of stuff. So, let's go ahead and talk about this button up here first. This is your shield, your counter recon. Obviously protects and stops people from scouting. You have your troops buffs all throughout here. They are pretty expensive to do, which is 20,000 gems. These are your random teleporters, your gathering speed, and your training capacity. You can also do the training capacity through the buildings themselves. You have the search for beasts, for polar tears, sawmills, meat, wood, coal, and iron. Well, if you take a look, this is our actual alliance node. You can click out and see the world, which will take you to the main castle here. Click your city, go back into it. I'm on my computer, so I have a little bit less buttons. You can also access the lighthouse here for the intel. Eventually, you'll get the pet skills, which is down there. I believe that is everything there that we really wanted to take a look at. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I am missing while I am thinking about it. Okay, let's talk about this. Always keep your research going. Never, 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 never stop unless you run out of resources. Best way that you can do that is always have your troops out marching for either resources or auto-joining rallies if you can. So, in the Alliance tab, obviously we are a part of Smash Squad, which is run by Chesco. And we have the Alliance chest, territory, battle, shop, tech, power rankings, and help. Obviously help, you can see everything here. Auto help there pops up as well. The tech, you're going to want to go ahead and contribute to this as much as you can. Whales, use your gems. Use it up to the $100 or 100 gem point. You're going to get them back anyway. Use it. Advance your tech as much as you can. You need to. You need to. You need to. This is very, 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 very important. Then you're going to have your shop. When you make contributions along with a couple other things here, you get these alliance tokens, which you can buy in the shop. Try to get stuff that's percentage off. That's the best. I mean, this is the same price advanced teleporter, where I'll probably end up getting it if I can. This refreshes every day. This refreshes every week. But so what? Battle, you'll learn about that later. Territory, your R4s are going to have to deal with that. The chest is where you get all of the stuff here, where players are spending or where they send out rallies. There's so much stuff in the game. I believe that is everything. Then obviously I do not want to put anything on the chat portion. Let me think before we end up. I probably missed something. I'll probably have to make maybe a part 2 to this. I am on almost an hour now, so I think I'm gonna stop this video because I can't think of anything else right now. I gotta be up in a couple hours. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I will catch you on the next one. Have a great rest of your night. Peace out.